Okay, today we have something exciting. It's from SUQQU, of course. It's their newest collection, including their new single eyeshadows, and I bought one from each of the formulation. They have 4 type of finishes in this new single line, and again I got one of each. And they got 2 permanent blush shades, and I got both of them. I actually personally prefer to get permanent shades because I feel like the content is gonna be helpful for the long run, because it's always gonna be available as long as this whole line is still available, not discontinued. So yeah, that's why I bought both of them. And before I go to the store and swatch it, I'm gonna put some store swatch pictures or footages here, but I thought it's gonna be pretty similar to the previous colors. I'm talking about the permanent shades. But I feel like once you see the picture with them lying against each other, you know, in the same palette, you can see the color is actually pretty different. What we are gonna do is, of course, we're gonna put all of these on our face, and then we're gonna try to compare to the previous formulations and colors to see how similar these are. So hopefully that can be a little bit more helpful in that way. And let's start with the eyeshadow L03, which L I think is luster, if I'm not wrong. It's a more of a metallic. Let me swatch for you, and it looks like it's gonna be a nice one and done shadow, right? Your taupey neutral base with like a shine to it, like pretty strong shine. And I don't see there's much kickoff into this pan, so it's pretty firmly pressed. It's not extremely pigmented. Let me layer a little bit more. But it's also not sheer, right? It's decent. I think it's a medium level of pigmentation. And this one is M01, which is a matte shade. This shade is actually pretty basic. It's a cool-toned pale mauve shade. I feel like it's hard to find this type of shade on the market, and I actually really like the shade. That's the matte formulation I got, S01, which I think is satin. The satin shades are a little bit powdery, like as you can see there's a little bit of kickoff, but not too much at all. And the satin shades are pretty pigmented. There's like, it's not Natasha Denona level of pigmentation probably, but I would say it's pretty nice pigmentation, right? And the last, which is the most fun one, is the shade P04. Don't remember what it stands for, but this is such a pretty multi-chrome shadow. I think there is a purple one and 2 neutral ones. But how cool is this? I think I got a good balance of shades, you know. I got 3 neutrals and I got 1 fun color. I call that a good ratio. Let's start with the application. I'm thinking to put this on both sides of our eye and try one of these on each eye, because in that way you can see the shade a little bit better, and we can layer this one on both of them. And like I said, let's go with M01. Oh, this one is a tiny little bit powdery. Oh, it's way warmer on my eyes, can you tell? And I like a lot of Japanese matte eyeshadow formulations because it doesn't have like a thick layer on your eyes. It almost just looks like your eyelid is naturally that color, right? It doesn't feel like or look like there's anything on it. Such a Korean eyeshadow hater, even though there's some formulation that I love. But in general, I feel like some of them are just so powdery. Once you put a powder down your eyes, you can feel it sometime, and you can totally see the texture as well sometime. And sometimes it's hard to layer something else on top because how powdery those things were. For mattes, I totally prefer Japanese formulations, but the thing is, Japanese companies doesn't really produce matte eyeshadows that often. They like shimmers all the way. So yeah, this is the matte shade. I really like it. I think this is a good matte, and it looks way, I don't want to say way darker, but I didn't think it's gonna show up that much on my eye, right? Like you wouldn't expect this shade on your eye, which I am curious, is this shade gonna look different on everybody? And if it looks darker on everybody, might also be a con to somebody, because if they expecting exactly this shade and they didn't get that, it could be a problem for them, right? But for me, I'm happy. I like this shade. This is such an easy to use day-to-day shade. L03, the Luster shade, I believe. Let's try finger. It's a little bit of a drier formulation, I'm not gonna lie. Not saying it's bad, but yeah, it is a drier formulation. I almost feel like this is covering the previous shade. And it's not as shiny I thought it would. Maybe layer a little bit on the center. You see the tone is totally different. It's covering everything. Let's try this shade then. The shade S01. This shade, it looks like it's gonna cover everything as well. Actually a pretty pigmented formulation. It's a peachy shade with even though it says it's satin, but I feel like it's a little bit more shine than only satin. What do you think? And I didn't even try with a brush, just straight up went with the finger. But yeah, is it like weird? The way that this peachy shade looks darker than the other one. When in the pan, you're totally gonna think this one is the darker one. Right? That's funny. I would say, for now, I prefer the matte and the satin. This shade, it has more potential, but I just would love the glitter a little bit stronger. But set that aside, let's try the most fun color. And this one looks extremely pigmented, right? And it looks like it's duochrome. Oh, it is very, very pigmented. And this color is so fun though. And I want to concentrate at the center for a little bit. This is not your super reflective glitter shades, but I do like the shade. What do you think? I think it's fun. And I haven't even run out of that amount. It's pretty pigmented. Probably don't need this much at all, but... And what do you think? I really like it. It's very SUQQU type of formulation, and we're gonna talk about that later when we do kind of like roundup-ish at the end of the video. But now let's go with the blushes. We have 07 and 08. They are actually very different to each other. 08 is way lighter, but this one is like more of a neutral, warm, mauvey, like a neutral, warm, mauvey type of shade, like a rosy shade, I probably should say. So yeah, let's try these. I want to try 07 first. So this is the shade. Oh, way more pigmented than I thought, and I'm even using a brush that should make the makeup less pigmented. And the camera is kind of washing me out a little bit. I look at least one shade darker than on the camera and more olive. And in real life, this is showing a lot. But blending out, I think the color is nice. But I wouldn't say this color is my favorite type of color. It's nice, again. It's not like bad, but normally I feel like if I want to go peachy, I would go like less pink. And if I'm gonna go pink, I'm gonna go less warm. If I want to go for like a warm blush, I'm gonna go less pink. Does that make sense? So it's like in the middle of everything. So it's kind of nothing to me. Not like nothing, but it's like not 100% for me in every aspect because it's in the middle of everything, if that makes sense. It's like a little bit red, a little bit pink, a little bit peachy, all mixed in one. But again, I don't hate this one. It's just not my top pick for blushes. 08. Actually, I have high hope for this one because for this formulation, I prefer like paler colors more than stronger colors for some reason. Okay, these are separate swatch and mixed swatch. I feel like for this one, I better not mixing them. I better just pick the peach or pink or whatever shade and maybe layer the cool tone shade later. Oh, I like this shade way more. Like I said, I always, for some reason, like the paler shade of this formulation better than like a deeper shade, which is quite the opposite from what I usually experience from other brands. For other brands, the paler shades almost like all look like it should be like an under eye brightener type of color, but for some reason for this particular line, the lighter shades always work better for me. And even though on the camera I feel like you wouldn't see that much of a difference, but somehow I just like this side better. It makes me look more fresh, this color. Just like I said, this is a mix of everything, right? But this is more close to one of the direction that I would want to go, which is a like warm pink blush. This is less red than this one and more neutral than this one. So again, it's the direction that I normally are willing to go. And maybe let's layer a little bit highlight. I'm trying to find a brush. Oh, this is a satiny finish. Well, this whole palette is, but with this one you can see more of a satiny finish. And there is very fine, oh my dishwasher, there is a very fine particle in it. It's like a bluey reflection, so it gives a little bit of that like ethereal type of look, which I really like it. Yeah, I really like it. I don't think you could tell much on the camera, but in real life I can see there is like a cool toned highlight here that almost reflects like purpley blue. I think it looks a little bit purple because it's mixed with the blush, but on itself it's like more of a blue. I love this one. I kind of want to layer a little bit of this pink, only this pink. I feel like from now on, if I'm gonna use this blush, I'm probably gonna more focus on this lighter side because that one looks more like lighter. Oh yeah, this one gives you a pinkier satiny finish. Oh, this way I like it more. I guess for me, I just again need to focus less on this side, more on the lighter side. For the comparison, because a lot of shades I don't really have a dupe, especially from their single eyeshadow. It's the Tone Touch Eyes in the shade 12. It's a glitter shade. See how intense that is. it's similar to none of them. Not similar in the shade or in the formulation. It's way more glittery. You might not be able to tell that much, but it's way more glittery than any of them. This is like purely a topper type of shade. I feel like the closest would be this one, the luster formulation, but it's not. Here is a satin shade, right? Oh, the satin shade, actually the formulation is very close. The color isn't though, but the formulation is close. It's just these type of shades, like I said, it's like a satiny shade, so it has like a slightest of a skin finish, but this one is totally matte. But the formulation is very close. So if you like one of these satiny shade and you don't mind to get like a matte formulation of the same sort of feel, I feel like I'm running out of words. But I think you know, like it feels like it's totally the same base formulation, just take away this skin finish and make it totally matte. Yeah. For this satin shade, which I think is like a pearly shade, right? Like, in what word is this satin? At least not in the cosmetic world, right? But I think this is a great example as well. This shade is more of a same formulation. Let's see. Oh, I would like to say this is a pretty similar as well, right? I just feel like this satin shade is a little bit more reflective, right? This one even look more satin. Yeah, but they are similar, just not totally the same. And for, I really don't know what else can I show you, because it's really similar formulation or no such formulation like this one. I think this is a totally new formulation that they have not done before yet. Also this one. Maybe there are similar ones, but I don't think there's as close as a dupe in previous collections, and I don't really like that one anyways. So yeah, that's gonna be the eyeshadow comparison. And now let's compare the blushes. I might already showed you the layout at the counter, so you can see it is pretty different than previous shades. For the shade 07, I thought it's totally like a similar, very similar shade to the previous shade 04, because the feeling it gives me is like way, it's very similar. But again, in that picture, you could tell this one is way lighter than the shade 04. Therefore, I prefer to get this one rather than the shade 04, because I feel like that one could be a little bit too intense for me. And this is the shade that I usually wear, 01, which is one of the lightest shade of the previous launched permanent shades, and I feel like you could tell this new one, the colorful half, it's more peachy, and the highlighty part is more cool, right? So they are actually totally different. Even though I would love to say if you only focus on the, you know, color part of the palette, it's gonna look pretty similar, just this one a tiny little bit more peachy, maybe, only maybe. This way you can see it's like a little bit more peachy, right? Yeah, right, this is more pink than this one. We have the shade 02, which again, I don't even think I need to swatch, it's totally different. And the shade 03. This, I guess, is more similar to this one more than anything. but again, it's different. This one is more mauve, the new one, and the shade 03 is more peachy. Well, they are similar, right? I feel like this palette mixed together is similar to the new shade 07 in the darker part, right? But still, this one is way warmer. It's all blush. It's all gonna look similar in a way, but I feel like they're different. So that's the comparison and the application. I still want to do an update, wear test, and roundup at the end of the day to update you on how these wear, especially for the eyeshadows. For these seasons, I got a lot of trace on my eye, and some eyeshadow does better than the other. So I'm curious how these new ones are gonna last, right? So I'll see you at the end of the day. 9:30 p.m. So it's been, I don't know, probably 7 hours, and if you can hear the noise in the background, I'm boiling some water, so ignore. I don't know why, like when I open the camera, there got to be something going on. So yeah, just ignore. It's not like it has totally not changed at all, but it only has like minimal tracing towards the inner corner of my eye, because that's where the fold is the deepest, you know. But yeah, I would say on the good side, could be better, but still pretty impressive, and I don't think it faded much, right? I don't think. And for the blush, I think it faded a little bit, but it's still there. And this is something about SUQQU. It almost always fades. None of them is gonna be like super long wear, like never coming off, 24 hours wear type of thing. But it will always wear off very beautifully. So let's gather my final thought for this first impression / review. Let's start with the eyeshadows. They are all very SUQQU-ish type of formulation. And even this fun shade, it's not the type of duochrome that you usually see in those indie brands where it's like, it's almost unwearable in a way if we're talking about, you know, day-to-day basis. So this is just, you know, SUQQU way to do like a more fun approach of an eyeshadow, but still wearable. I really liked this P04 color, and I feel like for this P formulation, if I would recommend, this is the shade. I haven't tried the other 3 shades, but I think this formulation is more for, you know, have a little bit more fun rather than just a basic shade. And this is kind of a fine metallic with duochrome type of finish, which is again not very easy to find, but it's wearable. Because normally the duochrome type of eyeshadow would be a glittery finish, but this one is not. So yeah, if you want super glittery intense duochrome, this is not your thing. Just saying. L03, I would say this shade did not live up to my expectation. Glitter here is not glittering. They look like a little bit dull. It could be just, you know, that's just the vibe they are going for, then that's cool, but that's not my preference. I like the glitter to be glittering, not dull. It can be subtle, like it's still glitter, it's just not as intense, but this one is not. When you apply it on your eye, when I say dull, I mean the glitter almost look like half matte. If you even know what I'm talking about, like how glitter can be matte, right? It's like a good glitter is like a clean, super nice mirror, and this is, you know, a dirty mirror if you know what I'm referring to. Like a dirty mirror is half matte, but it's still reflective. This is what that's giving me. And the base shade is there, but I feel like the half matte glitter is covering up the base shade. So it's like in between of both worlds, and it's just becoming neither of the thing I want. I want either like intense base shade, so it could be like a one and done eyeshadow. Like it doesn't have to be intense, but you know, not let the glitter covering up all of the base shade, or it's just like a pure top coat. That's the two type of glittery eyeshadow I like, but this is none of them. It's like in between. So I don't know about the other formulation, not the other colors of this particular finish, but for me this is not my favorite. S01, I think I already showed you the swatch comparison. This is just the more pearlized shade in their previous quads. So if you liked those formulation, I think you would like this. I wouldn't say it's 100% the same formulation, because to the touch they feel a little bit different, but it's very similar. So I wouldn't say this is unique in any way, but it is pretty pigmented and it is very easy to use. So if you can find the shade that you like and you also prefer this formulation, I don't see anything wrong with it. The mattes, I really like the mattes. I feel like the matte shade is nothing groundbreaking, but somehow I just really like it. I think it just sits so close to the skin. It's so thin. It's not thick. Even though I never see anybody mentioning eyeshadow being thin and it's a good thing, you know, nobody ever in my memory ever commented on that. But for me, I prefer a thin eyeshadow formulation when it comes to mattes. I hate the thick, like almost flower-like type of powder formulation. I don't like that. This is very thin and it sits so close to the skin. You can see the texture of the powder. I love the formulation. It's just if you are looking for something that's extremely pigmented, this is not it. Even though I say I really like it, I don't think this is like that unique at all. It's just for my personal preference, I really like this. For the blushes, I think my opinion stands the same. I like the shade 08 more than 07, and I think my previous decision to not purchase the shade 04 is correct, because that shade is actually pretty popular in Japan, but I feel like that's a little bit too deep, so I was a little bit hesitant. And now this time they have a lighter version and I almost feel like it's a little bit too much. Even though I have used much more intense shades and I felt okay with a lot of them, but I don't know why this one, it just somehow feel a little bit more intense. Nothing to do with the formulation is great. And you can see some glitter in the pan, but on your face you barely see it actually. And even if you can see it, it's like very fine, so it doesn't look weird. And the glitter is like super finely milled. So that's my thoughts to this new collection. I think they are up to standard for SUQQU. It just depends on your preference. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.